So I borrowed this car from Proton and So I borrowed this car from Proton for a week for a review, but I think I may have liked this car a little bit more than I should. Now, there are many things to be loved about this car, but let's quickly get into it, okay? Now, bear in mind that I'm not a professional reviewer. I will just give you a layman terms of what I think this car would feel like in the hands of everyday Malaysian driving this car every day. First up, the exterior. Now, the exterior is pretty much, everybody has their own opinion on it. Personally, I find that it is not too bad. Yes, it may not look very fierce or like a very standout or edgy like a Lamborghini, that kind of, okay? It's definitely not. It's a very subtle, subdued look. Gets you from point A to B without being too loud about it. It blends in with everyday drive and everyday usage. Okay? This car is not for someone who wants to shout, hey, I'm here, you know? It's more like, let me just get by and blend in with everyone and mix around with the crowd, that kind of feel. Over at the front there, it's because this car is based on the Geely Galaxy EX5, there's all the missing dots, the pattern and the lights here. In the original one, it's also lit up, but over here we don't have. It's more minimalist now, and I mean, some people like it, some people don't like it. It really depends on you. If you want to mod it with aftermarket parts, you can do it as well. I've seen it in some forums where people actually posted their modification works where they put all the dot to look as close as possible as the EX5. But in terms of the lights, I think it's pretty slick. It looks very modern, very EV-ish nowadays. All the cars like to do this. Like I said, everybody have their own preference, so what works for some may not work for others. I'm not really a super big fan of this style of door handles. I prefer it like either the old school style or maybe the one that is pops out, you know. This kind feels like it might, I'm not sure if it might break in the near future because it looks like if I yank it too hard. I may be wrong though, but that is just personal preference. Yeah, again, these kind of door handles, moving parts means more chance to break down in the future, and which adds to more costs. But yeah, you may like it. And over here behind, I'm pretty okay with this design. The long light bar actually works for me, and I think it kind of looks like a Porsche Macan a little bit. Without the words I saw some people remove it, but hey, if you're driving a Proton, don't be ashamed of driving a Proton. It's pretty cool that they managed to reach this level. You know, I used to drive Proton. Yeah, it's really a big jump. So now I will be very happy to drive a Proton because it's really amazing now. But let's take a look at it inside. Now, let's take a look at the boot size, okay? For a car this big, you'll be expecting some pretty big boot size, right? But let's find out if it's true. There's a touch button to unlock the thing. And over here, we have two bags, which I would say it's pretty sufficient for your daily usage if you have golf bags or stuff like that, or if you're always going to the grocer, you can easily put all your groceries over here. And especially for those people that want to buy stuff from IKEA, right, you always have not enough space in the, especially if you're driving a sedan. Over here, if you just push down the seats, you can get a lot more space and you can put all those long furnitures, which I think I would appreciate a lot because I buy stuff from IKEA, and I'm pretty sure those people who buy from IKEA will also appreciate this space. Okay, now we are here at the back seat, and I must say I am very impressed with the back seat here because I've fetched my family members. There's probably 3 adults, 1 baby, and everybody could fit comfortably behind here. And I haven't seen a car that has so much space, especially legroom, in a while, because this is essentially like a D segment space with maybe a B or C segment price. So yeah, I mean, I personally haven't driven an SUV that often. I've never owned an SUV, and if I ever change to an SUV, this will probably be it, right? Because it's impressive so far, and I really like the view that you can get from here, especially the very long sloping sunroof that you can actually open at night and look at the stars or the buildings on top. And yeah, in terms of space, it definitely is one of the better ones out there. In terms of headroom, there are plenty of space over here. I'm about 170 cm, and yeah, that's like a lot of space over here. So people who are actually taller than me might not have an issue. Let's say if I'm quite low and my head is super high, even if there's a bump, I still can't hit the top. So yeah, that's plenty of headroom. This is my natural resting position, and yeah, it's definitely very spacious and comfortable. And the seats are also made with very nice touch materials. There are some plastics over here, but all in all, it's very soft touch and it's very nice. I don't think this is 100% leather, but good enough for me for the price that you pay. Over here inside the interior, you will find things a little bit on the minimalist side, like all other EV cars. They have actually moved a lot of things to the screen, so you get less physical buttons, but at least you get some, right? Not like totally, some cars don't have any physical buttons at all. So most of the things can be adjusted on the screen, which is a good and bad thing because sometimes you want to search for stuff like turn off the driver assist and stuff like that. You have to, while driving, you have to go and press. So that's one of the things that I felt that can be improved. But other than that, interior-wise, it actually feels very nice. I love the ambient lighting here. I feel like at night, I mean, I've tested it. The nighttime drive of this car is actually a lot more nicer than the daytime drive because of the ambient light. I set it to purple. It looks very premium. I think this car is definitely worth much more than 100,000. All these features that I mentioned feels like it can be obtained from a car that is like above 200 over 1,000. So there's definitely a plus for PROTON. Talking about the sound system, I think this car has really good audio. This car has a 16-speaker Flyme sound system. To be honest, I never heard of Flyme before this car, but it actually surprised me and actually amazed me of how good it is. Because normally you just hear like Bose or this kind of stuff like that, right? But Flyme sound system is new to me, and I actually blasted this car sound system before, and it actually held up pretty well, and the bass is strong, the trebles are strong, and overall it's a very delightful hearing experience. So I've driven this car for a few days, right? I mean, it definitely beats the experience of driving in the test drive showroom for like 10 minutes. So I purposely asked them, can I borrow this car for at least more than 3 days lah, so I can get a full driving experience, the feeling. But I'm happy to report that the driving experience, I would say amazing. Amazing is nothing short of amazing, because I'm driving a Conti car, and this definitely feels much nicer, much more exciting to drive. I actually feel excited to drive a car nowadays, because normally when I'm on my Conti car, I feel like I have to go out for a drive. But this car makes me feel excited because the driving experience is so pleasantly surprising. I can't help but to have a smile on my face every time I'm driving this car on the road, because the torque, I tell you, the instant torque from an EV, right? It's hard to go back to an ICE. I mean, that's just personal preference. Of course, there are a lot of ICE car lovers here. I'm not saying that ICE car is bad, okay? I'm just saying my personal preference that once you feel the torque, the instantaneous torque of the EV car, right? Especially this car, because I've driven some EV cars, and the torque may not be as strong as it may not be strong among all the EV cars, but this car definitely has some really exciting torque. For a car that is this size, right, you would think that it's heavy and slow, but it's actually pretty quick, you know? It's very easy to overtake cars, it's very easy to go for a ride, and like impress your passengers, because they never expect that, oh, this car can go so fast. It just overtakes other cars like you know, like this. In terms of handling, the steering wheel, although it looks unconventional, but it actually handles really well. It's super nice to turn. It's very smooth and buttery. That's a key word, okay? It's buttery smooth. I'm just very excited to drive this car all the time. I don't know why. I did not expect myself to like this driving experience that much, but it actually surprised me over and over again. It just gives me joy to drive this car. Let's talk about charging costs. Now, I'm sure many of you have this question as the same as I do, because I'm coming from an ICE car background, and I always wonder how much does it cost to charge an EV car. So let me just give you a quick layman term of how we calculate. So this car battery has a 60 kilowatt per hour capacity, and what that means is basically if you look at the charging bay, because every place have different charging bays with different rates. So like in my case, I have a charging bay that says 90 cents per kilowatt hours. So that means if I were to charge this from zero, so I just take 60 kilowatt per hour times 90 cents. So that will lead me to about 50 something ringgit for a full tank, which is pretty decent actually, because if I were to compare, okay, this car can go about 400 km on average, okay? So my ICE car can go about 400 or so as well, but it takes me 120 ringgit for a full tank. So the savings is quite big, you know? So which is what I actually appreciate a lot. And I'm looking forward to maybe try to change an EV car and save a lot on the savings, you know? Maybe another question that is important for you to ask is, who is this car for, right? So for me, my own personal opinion is this car is definitely very suitable for people who have been on a sedan and want to try an SUV. And especially those who want to try EV for the first time. This will make a very good first EV car and an SUV. If you want to hire, you want to see down on people on the road, right? You don't want to be intimidated by higher cars than you, right? This car definitely is very suitable for that purpose, and it's very comfortable. It's for family people who have like maybe 4 or 5 family members. This car is very comfortable for everyone. As you saw, the back seat has ample of space, and you can store all your groceries, all your stuff like that. So it's a very family-oriented SUV, but it can also be for single people who likes the excitement of value for money. Okay, I would say this car, right, is the ultimate value for money. If I could describe this car in one word, it's value for money. That's no stronger word than that, because it's a very capable car. It's severely underrated. It's exciting, but yet very subtle. It blends in with people, but yet inside it's a very nice driving experience. You will find yourself smiling every time you start the car and you go for a drive. And yeah, I mean, there's no other word to say it other than that way, right? You have to get one and drive it for a few days if you are really considering this, and see how it feels like, see how the whole experience captures your heart. Lastly, the million-dollar question that most people will ask is, oh, buy EV, my resale value is very bad. How do I address this concern, right? If I were to give my opinion on that, if you are buying a car because of the resale value, then maybe you shouldn't be buying this car, right? If me, I will buy this car because I'm capable of driving a car for very long, like many years. My previous car, I've driven it for like 10 years plus, and I still have no problems with it. And still, in fact, I still love it a lot. So if you're buying this car for resale value, maybe you want to try an ICE car instead. This car, you buy it and you just gotta love and enjoy driving it. Don't think about the resale value. Definitely all cars, once you start the engine, is going to drop the price. But having said that, I haven't seen many people throwing this car on the road yet, as in like throw on second-hand market, right? The price is not really, we can't really know the data for sure yet because it's still fairly new. In fact, they've launched new colors this month. It's still a pretty new look, but from what I've seen in the forums, people are kind of loving this car a lot, and I don't think they would throw the price that much because it's, from what I see, it still can hold its value. But of course, the value still will go down, but how much it drops, that one's another story, right? Overall, I think it's a very nice car. It's absolutely amazing, and I will give it an 8 out of 10. Go and check it out for yourself if you don't believe me.